On May 25th, the government announced the discontinuation of the TT Travel Pass system, which means from tomorrow, June 1st, unvaccinated passengers can once again enter T&T. And with me to discuss what is still needed for travelers who enter the country is the Manager of Corporate Communications at the Airports Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Zola Joseph. Ms. Joseph, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Good morning, Mr. Souza. Good morning to your viewers.
Now, Ms. Joseph, from tomorrow, unvaccinated passengers no longer need to present that TT travel pass, but what do they still need if they want to enter the country?
Well, passengers are advised that they would still need to present either a negative PCR or antigen test to their relevant airline at the point of departure. Now, the test should be taken no longer than 48 hours prior to entry into Trinidad and Tobago. And there will also be some level of monitoring by the Ministry of Health, by Port Health at the point of entry once they arrive. But of course, it will not be the process that was held prior with the TT Pass, Travel Pass system. So according to the Ministry of Health, passengers who do not present a negative COVID-19 test on arrival must go into state-supervised quarantine at their cost and must provide a negative PCR or antigen test at any time during their quarantine period. So the authority warmly welcomes this ease of restrictions. We believe that more persons will be inclined to travel through the Piarco and A&R Robinson International Airports. It's good news that now unvaccinated non-nationals can enter through A&R Robinson International Airport in Tobago once they provide that negative PCR or antigen test. And we have all systems, all safety and operational systems in place, and we are prepared to facilitate an increase in travelers to Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, Ms. Joseph, you mentioned that there's still going to be some monitoring from the Airports Authority. What is that going to look like?
Well, we work with our stakeholders, with the Ministry of Health. We work under the guidance of the Ministry of Health. We work very closely with the CMOHs at St. George East, Dr. Osafa Fraser, and Dr. Tiffany Hoyt in Tobago. And so there will be minimal monitoring by Port Health upon arrival. And they will, just check to ensure that persons come in with a negative PCR. But it will not be what was there before. So what it means is that there is an easier, a smoother process for travelers. There's an easier experience, a higher quality experience at our airports. We are enhancing the travel experience and enhancing what people experience at our airports and making the whole process smoother. And so with that, we anticipate that more persons will be inclined to travel, and especially coming up to our July vacation peak travel period, we will have more persons traveling.
Now, Ms. Joseph, the normal restrictions in terms of mask wearing and washing of hands still remain. Are there going to be anybody on the ground just monitoring people as they come in to ensure that they follow these public health regulations?
Yes, we continue to monitor our health regulations, and we continue to have those in place. Face masks are required for entry into terminal buildings and must be worn throughout the terminal buildings. And passengers are encouraged to use the hand sanitization stations that we have placed throughout the terminal buildings as well. Physical distancing is also encouraged. So notwithstanding the ease of restrictions, we continue to ensure that we review our safety systems. We have maintained rigorous cleaning, disinfection, and sanitization regimes. So we continue with that. We use a combination of electrostatic foggers and manual disinfection. We use chemicals that have active protection against COVID for up to 7 days. So we continue we know that the pandemic is not over. So we continue to enforce and maintain high standards of cleaning, disinfection, and sanitization at our airports. So that continues. Our protocols remain in effect, but we have the ease of restrictions where we are a little bit more relaxed, and so passengers can have an enhanced experience at our airport facilities.
Now, as you mentioned, the anticipated increase in travelers coming into the country, is the authority concerned at all about maybe, catching a new strain of the COVID-19 virus or even the monkeypox, as has been, reported in some jurisdictions?
Well, we work very closely with the Ministry of Health, and we have measures in place where we are reviewing and monitoring, even where it comes to the monkeypox. That conversation has begun at the airport. So we are monitoring consistently and continually with our stakeholders, with the Ministry of Health, with Port Health, to ensure that our nation remains safe, to ensure that we have high standards, to ensure that we implement international best practice in terms of airport safety, and work with our local and international stakeholders to ensure that our passengers remain safe and to ensure that we inspire confidence in persons to travel through our airports once again.
Now, while the ANR Robinson International Airport is smaller, will protocols be different? Because I know that you're talking about that influx in passengers coming in. I'm just wondering if the authority will have the required workers on the floor to deal with, the rush of people that's going to be coming in for that peak period.
Yes, we are ensuring that we have the requisite manpower, that we have, that we continue to train our staff to continually and consistently ensure that our high quality safety and health standards are met. We did achieve the Airports Council International Health Accreditation, and so that means that our systems are aligned with international best practice, and we are doing all that we can and making every effort to ensure that our systems align with the Ministry of Health's guidelines and international health and airport best practice.
Now, Ms. Joseph, I read that facilities have been expanded to cater for autistic and disabled people at both the PIACO and the ANR Robinson International Airports. Can you share some more on this?
Yes, we would like to increase our facilitation where it comes to the disabled and the differently abled and the autistic. And we would like to, very, very soon, we will introduce a program where persons can register with us, inform us when they will be traveling through our airports, and we can have special facilitation for those with autism. We have begun training our staff with autism awareness. So we are very ensuring that our staff are oriented and understand how to facilitate these passengers. And we want to ensure that we've increased our facilitation. We have increased the number of parking spots for the disabled, and we have formed alliances with the differently abled agencies and the Autistic Society of Trinidad and Tobago. We have formed a committee. We are doing things where we are going through the airports and ensuring that everything can be streamlined and aligned to ensure the most excellent facilitation for those our passengers who are autistic or who are differently abled. So that is a system that we will have. We will have ID cards where persons can register and be a part of our airport community. So we are alerted when you're coming to the airport, and we have a special facilitation for those persons. So you will hear more about that as time goes along.
And Ms. Joseph, any updates on the airport expansion program at the ANR Robinson International Airport? I believe a new wing was launched recently.
Yes, there was a new domestic arrivals wing that was introduced, was opened recently, and this we are doing all we can in terms of working with our stakeholders, working with the NIDCO, working with the Ministry of Works and Transport, and the Tobago House of Assembly to ensure that the airport facilities in Tobago are enhanced and expanded to better serve our passengers and to better serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago and our international visitors. So we're working hand in hand with all stakeholders, and we'll keep you updated on how those expansions will go.
Nice. And Ms. Joseph, finally, anything else you would like to add before we close?
I would like to welcome international visitors. I think we've come to a point where in the pandemic where we can be more relaxed and more at ease, still understanding that it exists. I think we have a culture now where we understand that we must observe the 3 W's, we must wash our hands, we must wear our masks, we must watch our distance, and we have that culture now. So we can have personal and individual responsibility, and we can travel. We can. I encourage persons to plan your July-August vacation. I encourage persons to do that Disney World trip with your family if this is the time, even as the pandemic moves towards an endemic stage, that we would like to inspire confidence in persons that they are safe to travel once again.
Nice. Ms. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us and now and just sharing, what the Airports Authority is doing to ensure that we're ready for those passengers who will be coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And that was Ms. Zola Joseph, who is the Corporate Communications Manager at the Airports Authority, just sharing some information now that the TT Travel Pass system will no longer be in effect from tomorrow, June 1st.